It's time now for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Central Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center, providing big city healthcare with a hometown touch. And now, Down on the Corner.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas, Southern Missouri. It's Friday,
Woo-hoo.
July 12th, 2019 at 7 a.m. Welcome to Down on the Corner program.
Yay, it's Friday!
It's Friday, yay! Dale Offer, your host, along with Scooter Callis. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
How about this weather?
Yeah, it's nice and cool. Little cooler this morning.
Yes, sir. Took my little dog Pepper out to the dog park last night, and it's just so nice. It's about 8:15.
Seems like the humidity's down just a little bit.
Humidity dropped, dew points down. Just it got really comfortable. In fact, I thought, you know what? I'm tired of that air conditioner cranking up the dollar bills for the electric company. So I shut it off and opened all the windows and hit that attic fan. And a little bit humid, but man, it's so nice. Oh, nice and cool. Anyway, beautiful day outside, beautiful night. We got a couple more of those before the rain comes through on Monday and Tuesday with the hurricanes hitting the Gulf Coast. Anyway, welcome Down on the Corner. Dale Hoffman, your host. It's brought to you by Baxter Regional Medical Center. Best care in the Midwest. Baxter Regional, of course, is the envy of many Midwestern hospitals right here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Baxter Regional Medical Center. Check out their urgent care 24/7, only $69 per visit from your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Go to baxterregionalcare.com.
It's amazing to hear from some of these doctors and stuff that have came over to our hospitals, like the technology and the equipment is so new.
Really?
And
Here? You know?
Yeah, and in such a small area to have that, it's pretty amazing.
You know, you get them coming out of the Northeast and like, where's the outhouse? And really, you know, look at this place. No, seriously. It's the envy of many Midwestern hospitals. You know, I can remember 40, 50 years ago, you know, if you had a compound fracture in the arm or leg, you went to Springfield. But now Missouri comes to us for a lot of things. And so Baxter Regional Medical Center, very innovative. And I mean, they're pushing the envelope. They really are, with top-notch technology, innovations, top-ranked doctors from across the nation. Baxter Regional Medical Center. I got to use that MASH line again. Best care anywhere. Baxter Regional Medical Center. They're just top-notch folks, and I always enjoy when Tobias comes in with some of his guests. It's really good, really fun talking with those folks. Baxter Regional Medical Center. Once again, urgent care 24/7, $69 per visit. Go to baxterregionalcare.com. Go to the Apple App Store to check that out, or Google Play on your other smartphone devices. Baxter Regional Medical Center. Best care in the Midwest. And I'm enjoying Brewed Awakening coffee. Hope you're doing the same thing. 3 locations to serve you the best coffee in town. Of course, Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, 62 East Plaza, out by Anytime Fitness. And then of course, we have Bomber Boulevard. Check out their wide varieties of flavors and blends and mochas, lattes, whatever you want. They can pretty well mix it up in a cup of coffee. And so even pumpkin spice in July.
Yay. Yay.
Don't get so excited.
I'm not. They got the cinnamon rolls I get
There you
excited
go,
about.
cinnamon
They
rolls,
got
yeah.
good sized cinnamon rolls. Actually, they're big cinnamon rolls.
Not the size of a DeSoto hubcap, you know.
I heat them up just a little bit.
Ooh,
they're nice.
So good. So
nice
good.
and good.
Brewed Awakening coffee, the best coffee in town. If you're not drinking Brewed Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. Mike and his staff do a great job. And they've been with us a long time, back in the radio days, and been over here almost 2 years. And so, you know, Mike and his staff do a fantastic job. Great coffee. Brewed Awakening coffee, the best coffee in town. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bringing you the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes, 29 to serve you in the state of Arkansas, 1 in Memphis, Tennessee. Right here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Talk to Bruce, Charlotte, Chris, Brad. Professional, caring, loving, knowledgeable. They know what's going on.
And they want to make
understand.
a difference. That's the thing. They have a passion for what they do. And
it's just totally amazing. Went through it in November last year, and after a long unanticipated illness with a loved one, and took some papers into Brad. This is what I know. This is what he says. Handled. Thank you. Came back in. A few signatures. We were done. I mean, very simple, but it's amazing, you know. And there's a lot of laws concerning this. They're up to date on all the laws for funerals and burial, whatever it may be. Talk to Roller Funeral Homes. Do your pre-planning now. Once again, talk to Bruce, Charlotte, Chris, Brad. Anybody out there can help you or direct you to the right person. Roller Funeral Homes, with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes. Let's pause now for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, I know I've been fussing to you this week about how we treat children in this country, but once again, on the radio news this morning, I heard another high-profile person arrested for a crime committed involving a child. We have child abduction, kidnapping, sex crimes involving children, murder, and abortion. Lord, have mercy on our country. Are we really that stupid? Children are a blessing from God. Grandchildren are a blessing from God. How can anyone mistreat a child? Lord, I pray you wake us up and help us stop this craziness, and that's my prayer today. Amen. Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas bring the morning prayer each and every day with all our respect. Roller Funeral Homes.
And now,
brace yourself.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yes, the
weather.
Plug it in and turn it on. Come on.
Dun, 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 dun. That's as good as it gets.
I was afraid of that.
This has been one of them weeks.
Okay, morning weather brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zador for all your real estate needs. 870-405-0793. Excuse me, retirettoarkansas.net. And it's time to take a look at the White River.
The White River or the webcam? No, I'm just kidding. There's not that much fog today.
That's good. Yeah, no fog.
You can actually see it. There's a little bit of fog down there, but it's not much.
The beautiful White River looking in from Marion County into Baxter County, Arkansas. A lot of trees all leafed out now, so it's kind of hard to see Cotter, but there's a little bit of a clearing right there almost in the middle part of the screen. That's Cotter Park down by the little railroad museum and baseball field down there. You see the bridge over on the left side of your screen. That's Highway 62 412. The beautiful White River. And you can check this out on your smartphones or your computer at home. Go to retirettoarkansas.net. Check out the live webcam. Bob and Linda Zadora, the award-winning Z-Team, Century 21 Lemac Real Estate for all your real estate needs. Buying, selling, need some property, Arkansas or Missouri. They can help you. They've got agents that can help you from Marshall to Mountain View, up into Gainesville, Missouri, Yellville, Harrison, Salem, over in Fulton County. Call the Z-Team. Getting ready to retire? Come on down. Check out retirettoarkansas.net. The Z-Team, the award-winning Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zadora, 870-405-0793. They bring you the morning weather each and every day. And I'm very proud to say it's only 66 degrees right now in Mountain Home. And I've seen days where it's already starting like at 85 at this time of day. But right now we are at 66 degrees in Mountain Home, 65 in Flippin and Harrison, 65 in Yellville, 67 in Salem, 66 at Calico Rock. Don't you know it's pretty down at Calico this morning? Oh, my goodness, that river coming through, like about what we saw on the screen here. Mountain View at 64. Around the region, St. Louis is already at 70, at 68 at Poplar Bluff, 67 in West Plains, and Branson at 64. And it's 59 degrees in Watford City, North Dakota. It's not bad up there either. National radar, we've got some shower activity in Montana, South Dakota, Minnesota. That's trailing off over into Canada. A little bit in eastern Iowa and some going on, looks like in Illinois. And so right now in Arkansas, I'm not picking up much of anything at all. A little bit on the North Carolina East Coast, southern tip of Florida. Of course, the hurricane situation in the Gulf is going to be changing our weather drastically throughout the weekend. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. Little Rock stop. We ready for Little Rock?
Yep.
All right. The state of Arkansas right here. All highways are clear. Picking up some humidity and moisture in the air. 62 412 east and west, Highway 65 north and south, Highway 67 167, Batesville, Poplar Bluff in good shape, Interstates 30, 40, 49, 55, 555 in Arkansas, clear at this time. And St. Louis, Missouri, picking up a little bit of shower activity in Illinois, it looks like. It's kind of really scattered. I don't know if that's actually hitting the ground. But anyway, I-70 Columbia into St. Louis, then East Vandalia, Effingham, Illinois. I-64 East St. Louis, Illinois towards Mount Vernon. Interstate 55 coming in from Sykeston to Farmington up into St. Louis, Missouri. And Rolla I-44, the 103-mile drive into St. Louis. Looks like it's rain-free at this time. Southwest Missouri, not going to be picking up much at all. Maybe a little bit in Kansas if we spread out that far. Picking up some echoes there at Chanute, Kansas, just east of Chanute, but not much going on there. I-44, I'm going to say, is clear. Tulsa, Joplin, Springfield, Lebanon, I-70, Kansas City, I-70 east towards Columbia. And you see Highway 63, West Plains, Rolla, and Jeff City, Missouri. Look like they're in pretty good shape. And let's see, here's the warning map. No warnings in Arkansas right now, but most of Mississippi and Louisiana, parts of Florida, and southwest part of Alabama is under a flash flood warning. There's flash flood watches, warnings, advisories, all kinds of stuff because of what's going on in the Gulf. And, of course, we've got the hurricane situation. I don't know, was there 2 tropical depressions, 2 turned into storms? Did one combine into 2 into 1? What was the situation?
I don't know. I wasn't even watching all that.
But it will affect our weather coming up on Monday into Tuesday. We'll get to that here in just a minute with this. Well, we'll do it now because of the forecast. For today, patchy fog, partly sunny, high of 88, low tonight 68. Saturday, high of 90 degrees, partly sunshiny skies. Saturday night, low of 70. Sunday, 20% chance of showers, light and thunder showers possible, high of 88. Sunday night, 30% chance of showers and a low of 68. Then Monday, 85 degrees, 40% chance of showers. Monday night continues, 40 and 30% chance of storms coming in. And it's all relative to the hurricane. And then Tuesday night, more showers. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week, I'm going to get hot. Next Thursday, high near 95. The heat indexes will then hit 103, 104, 105. So it's July in Arkansas, and it's normally hot. If it was 34 degrees, that'd be making news, Anyway, before you drive, check iDrive Arkansas. We're checking here this morning, right here on I-40 East. They've got an accident at mile marker 175. If you're going to Little Rock, of course, they'll have it cleaned up by the time you get there. Rather than that, check out the little red X's or blue X's in the circle that tells you any problems along the way. There's one on Highway 65 right there. I wonder what that is. Oh, doing some construction just off of Highway 65 on Highway 225. They had a bridge issue there. You can check your border states, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. When you go to iDrive Arkansas, you can also go over here and add the weather radars and check any spots that may be getting precipitation. Missouri Department of Transportation, hey, that's cleaned up a lot since yesterday in the middle part of the state. Yeah, from Kansas City down to Springfield and Columbia down
Missouri's
towards West
looking
Plains.
a lot better.
It's looking a lot better in Missouri, and so the flooding issue is finally getting resolved. You can actually see the highway sign on I-29 up there going up into Iowa. And so you can go to Missouri Department of Transportation information map and iDrive Arkansas before you travel. And so it looks like it's in pretty good shape there in the state of Missouri. Allergy sufferers today. Today is a 3.9 low to medium with grasses, plankton, and nettle are your culprits today. Tomorrow's a 4.2, a little bit higher. And so grab the allergy meds.
Actually, that's not bad. That's
not bad.
That's normal. Yeah.
3.9. I haven't,
Until they get over into the high side.
Oh my goodness!
Really
Earlier in the spring, we're 9.8 and 10.1.
I think you'll carry this on through the summer till fall comes in, and then you'll have the pollen.
Morning weather brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zador. For all your real estate needs, give them a call at 870-405-0793. One more peek at the White River. Can we do that one more time? Wow. Imagine waking up and getting your morning cup of coffee and looking out your kitchen window at that.
Well, I think it's cool. You they have a view from there, but you can go to their site anytime and watch this. And any of the stuff that Cotter's doing, their festivals, baseball games, you can go right to their site and watch the cam and see the game and just kind of see what's going on. That's what I think.
Very
that's
pretty
neat.
shot. The beautiful White River. Once again, brought to you by the Z-Team. Bob and Linda Zador. For all your real estate needs, 870-405-0793. Community calendars brought to you by Old Time Restaurant on the Square in Mountain Home. Best breakfast, best lunch in town. Monday through Friday, 7 to 2. Saturday till 11.
It's steak day.
Yay!
It's Friday.
Yay!
Steak day. You get a marinated sirloin steak you can cut with a butter knife. Eggs, hash browns, biscuit and gravy or toast, all for just $8.88. Can't beat it. For lunch, you got a choice between ham and beans or open-faced turkey breasts. He's got you an option.
Why do you do that?
Both of them come with 2 sides, roller cornbread, $6.88. Can't beat it.
So for $14, I can get them both, right?
There you go. We'll take care of you.
Decisions, yeah. Community calendar brought to you by Old Time Restaurant on the Square Mountain. I'll be down there for breakfast tomorrow for sure. Oh, goodness. The U.S. Census hiring event today, 10 a.m. to 3 o'clock. Goodwill Career Center is hosting a hiring event for the U.S. Census. The U.S. Census is hiring multiple positions in all counties, paid training and mileage. The hiring event is Friday, July 12th, today, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Goodwill, which is just back over here about 1 mile or so. So be sure and check that out. Gun and Knife Show tomorrow, the 13th, from 9 to 5, Baxter Fairgrounds. Special admission rates are as follows. Police, firearms, and children 12 and under and guardian are free. Active duty and retired military with ID will receive a $2 discount off admission. The gun and knife show at Baxter County Fairgrounds tomorrow from 9 until 3. And also on the 13th, and I just messed up by moving that.
Of course you did.
Yes, I did. The Ozark Wood Turners will meet on the second Saturday of each month at 1 o'clock at the Lakeview Civic Center, 14 Skiles Lane in Lakeview. They offer a mentor session beginning 9 a.m. for mentors to work on our Mentors 101, discuss special projects. This is 9 to 3 tomorrow in Lakeview at 14 Skiles Lane, the Ozark Wood Turners.
The OFA, Ozark Football Association, is doing sign-ups tomorrow for anybody from 3rd grade on to 6th grade that's looking at doing football. You can go to the locker room. They'll be there from 12 to 2 and get your kids signed up and get them ready. Also, they have a training camp that's going on at the 20th, and it'll be at the high school football field. It's free of charge. They will have food there for the kids, and as well as all these football activities. Just kind of let them have a good time and kind of get a little bit of fundamentals and a little bit of training. But it is from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock for the 3rd and 4th grade, and then it'll be from 12 to 2 for the 5th and 6th. So it's free, open to anybody to go over and do it. So we do encourage you for that. Also, got a couple different sports going on.
There you go.
The Mountain Home Flyers Youth Wrestling Club is going to be running a few summer fun practices. Huh?
There was something, you posted something with the wrestling on Facebook I saw this morning.
Yeah. And it will be on the 20th. It will be at the Guyberry Gym, and it is going on from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And what they're going to try to do is do every other Saturday, kind of get it started, and then as we get closer to the season, it is not the season time for wrestling. It is just kind of getting people into it, getting them a little bit acclimated to it. So it doesn't cost anything. If you want to go over and have your child try out wrestling, they can go over to Guyberry Gym on the 20th from 9 to 11 and just have them wear a pair of shorts, T-shirts, and a pair of socks, and let them go out and have a good time, see what they think of it.
Sounds good. All right, need to take a break. Come up, Bob Lyra's here. Going to be talking with him a little politics today, so stick around. We'll be right back.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
Our old burger was only 7 ounces, but now it's 8 with brioche bun and pickles. Comes with its own steak knife, it's really that big. Your best competition is always yourself. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. We're focused on one thing, burgers, ribs, fajitas. Just that one thing, burgers, ribs, and fajitas. We're reeling in our menu because it got out of hand. We had a moment of self-actualization. Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back. Oh, baby, Chili's is back, baby, back, baby, back.
Do you know where your money goes when you give to charity? At the Salvation Army, 85 cents of every dollar stays to help those in need in our local community. Hi, I'm Captain Spaulding. The money we raise help people in the surrounding 5 counties, including Baxter, Marion, Sharp, Izzard, and Fulton. You can help by donating your unwanted items and by shopping at the Salvation Army store. Those in need get assistance with rent, utilities, sending kids to camp, and many other things. When it comes to this charity, the Salvation Army always helps those in our community.
Whether you're a professional lawnscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn & Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn & Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area.
When I grow up, I want to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations,
I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Why would I recommend Hospice of the Ozarks? Because I know the people that work there, I know their hearts, and I know that their desire is to help people with the suffering and the anxiety and the things that can come with either terminal diagnosis or a terminal condition. We want them to have a peace of heart and to have a comfort and to know that someone's there to help them through that so they can enjoy the time that they have.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
(7:22). My guest today is Bob Lowery, Vice Chairman of the Baxter County Republican Committee. Nice to have you here, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Quite a pleasure. So let's talk a little bit, let's talk successes. Stock market yesterday. Did you see that market?
Yeah.
27,000 plus.
It's hard to argue that we're not in an economic upturn.
Well, you know, and all the folks that are Trump haters and don't support him and say he's doing a lousy job, if you're invested in the stock market, you're making money, give me the profits if you don't like it.
Or donate it back to the government.
Or donate it back to the government, or get that tax refund or the tax break you got. You know, well, give that back to the government, you know. So, unemployment is as low as it's basically ever been. We've got the stock market, even the S&P 500 reported last week, they were as strong as they were since 1938. That's before World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the strength of this country economically right now.
All right.
So your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that it's hard to argue that all the statistics show that we're doing quite well, and it's amazing to see the twists and turns that are given, spin that's put on it in a negative way by so many media members today. I think it's unquestionable that where our economy is going, and I think it forecasts seem to be it's going to keep going for the foreseeable future.
You know, how high can that market, they say whatever goes up must come down. Okay, how high can the market, you know, we closed at 27,000 some odd. Is there a point where too high is too high? I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? Is there a break point where it has to readjust? If it were to hit 30,000 before the end of the year, would there be an adjustment where it would come back down to 25, 26, 27,000?
Well, historically, perhaps, but I can recall having a stock market person address a group and say that we can foresee when it might reach 15,000. Now, this was a number of years ago, and it was thought then that would be the tops. So, you know, I think it's somewhat difficult to pinpoint that ultimate high.
And so, you know, it can't help the stock portfolios have to be doing pretty good. Even for those that don't like Trump, you know, his policies are working.
And I think you hit the key there, because I think there are many people who as on a personal level, might not like Trump or his certain behaviors and certain exhibitions he's made, and certain of his, of course, his famous tweets. But nonetheless, if you just put that aside and say, well, let's look at his results and let's look at his policies, I find it hard to quarrel with that.
Well, you know, when you get down to the sassiness and the sharp language, Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson would cuss in front of Billy Graham. All he'd say, "Excuse me, preacher," you know, and that's in Billy Graham's book. I read his autobiography, Just As I Am, and it said Lyndon Johnson, he'd say a cuss word or something, "Excuse me, preacher," you know, and just keep on going. You know, the salty language is there.
The salty language is there, and then again, the reporting used. I think President Kennedy was treated rather kindly by the media, and I think all the presidents were treated somewhat kindly until recent years, and now it seems that there's no limit on what they can do and what they can leave out.
Why so much disrespect? I mean, you go back and you watch the news reports about when he won Ohio and Wisconsin, and oh my goodness, and all of a sudden they thought Hillary had a 95% chance of winning, and it started flip-flopping where it was like, well, it's 50-50 now, and oh my goodness, Trump, and then all the stuff going on and all the craziness. Okay, so he won. So why all the hatred? I don't get it. What are people afraid of?
Well, look at the history. Back in the 40s, there was one of the socialist personages who stated that what we have to do is to get small victories, and if we don't call it socialism, we call it progressive, we call it liberal even. These things we can get past, but not under the label of socialist. And he said eventually we'll have enough of those that one day America will wake up and find that it is socialist. And somewhat, I have to say, I think now that was back in many years ago, but it sort of looks like it's coming to fruition.
Do people understand socialism?
No.
So let's go back to the old days of the USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. It's in their title, USSR, Socialist Republic. And look at the oppression, look at the, the government said, okay, you're going to live here, you're going to sell shoes, you're going to be a carpenter, you're going to do this, you're going to Siberia, you know. The government tells you what to do and when to do it.
Yes, and the government also condemned millions to death. Look what Stalin did to the Ukraine.
Oh yeah,
he blockaded the whole country there and starved literally several millions deliberately because that whole group of farmers disagreed with his policies. I fear that the people who are advancing these policies do not understand the consequences of their actions.
Well, can they not look at what has gone through Venezuela? I think Venezuela is probably one of the most vivid examples of socialist government right now.
And it's amazing how that's completely ignored by the proponents of the socialist regimes. You know, you don't see Bernie backing off any. You don't see any of them backing off on just because of Venezuela.
So Bernie Sanders, he's been in politics since I think the early to mid '80s. Is he that delusional about it? I mean, has he convinced himself, yeah, we can make this work, you know? If you believe the lie long enough, it becomes truth in your own mind.
I believe he's at that point. The evidence is overwhelming the other way. You look at the history of all of them, and what do they end up in? They end up in a dictatorship. Call it whatever name you want to. Mao Zedong, he started out communist, right? He was communist, and he ends up with absolute total power, and he exercised it to the...
That was in China?
In China. He took over there, and again, millions were
I totally
dispatched.
forgot about that. What year was Mao Zedong?
Well, he started before the World War II,
Yeah.
but during the war was when he made his Long March, and then he emerged as the darling of the Communist Party and proceeded to very astutely maneuver himself within the party, and eventually he ends up total control and ends up executing his closest comrades, as did Stalin. Stalin was famous for his purges. Anybody he gets so suspicious, he was so paranoid that he would eliminate his closest advisors, people who put him in position.
And so Mao Zedong in China, they staged some offensive stuff during the Korean battle because they were very strong in North Korea. That's why we didn't go in with anything. Didn't MacArthur?
China.
What?
China. Yep, they sent their troops in.
Yeah. And then was MacArthur fired by Truman because of?
Partly, MacArthur was fired for several reasons. One, he wanted to use the atomic bomb.
Yeah, in North Korea.
He was just gonna, and he certainly wanted to cross the Yalu River. We set that up as an artificial boundary, and they'd operate from the other side with impunity. We couldn't strike. I had, many years ago in my ROTC days in college, I had a college, one of my ROTC professor was a former pilot and had served in Korea. And he recounted, he said that on the days when the truce was going and, the truce talks going, he said we couldn't fire. We were ordered not to fire. They put tape over our machine guns, and if that tape was broken when we got back from flying our mission, we would be court-martialed. And he said on those days when we did that, the roads below us would be full of convoys moving south with ammunition and supplies for the North Koreans. And we couldn't do anything about it. Not a thing. He said, I loved the one story he told. He said, I saw a command car once. He said, the only time I ever saw one, you didn't see those very much. It was a high-ranking official, and I couldn't touch him. He said, but I made him think. I made a strafing run on him anyway. He said it was fun watching him roll down the hill. But nonetheless, that was the case. Yeah, and MacArthur, he was rather insolent too. So that sort of toward the president, It was a famous incident where he had his plane. He was supposed to meet the president in one of the islands out in the Pacific, and he had his plane circle a little longer so the president would land first and have to greet him. So that didn't sit well either. So
a little bit of conceit there. It's coming up on 7:33. It's time for a break. Visit with Bob Lowery, Baxter County Republican Committee. Be right back.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment, their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
When you need durable and comfortable hospital scrubs stat, you need the Uniform Shop. The Uniform Shop is the place for top quality uniforms, carrying a great selection of name brands including Carhartt, Cherokee, and Grey's Anatomy, as well as shoes from Clogs, Softwalk, and Landau, stethoscopes from Littman, blood pressure cuffs, scissors, name tag retractable, compression socks, paramedic BDUs, and Rocky boots. The Uniform Shop also offers customizing, embroidery, as well as minor alterations. Let us put you in uniforms. Shop the Uniform Shop. Take a step back in time when going to a barbershop meant more than just getting a haircut. Come into Legionnaire's Barbershop today, a unique gentleman barbershop. Get back in style from a former celebrity hairstylist and a licensed barber instructor who are trained in tonsorial arts and lock removal and happy to give you a straight razor shave. Legionnaire's Barbershop is veteran-owned and operated and located at 848 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. For a full, old-fashioned barbershop experience, stop by Legionnaire Barbershop today. Your car is a member of the family. It takes you where you need to go, and it makes sure you are safe at all times. When a wreck or accident happens, trust the only place that will treat you and your vehicle like a person, not a number. From collision repair and windshield replacement to paintless dent repair and hail damage removal, Dent Boys can cover all your automotive repair needs and make sure you are satisfied every step of the way. Call or visit the professionals at Dent Boys today and see the Dent Boys difference.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
736, visiting with Bob Lowery, Vice Chair of the Baxter County Republican Committee, and illegal immigration, big issue. Now they're fussing about the census. Boy, are you a citizen or not? I mean, come on. We have to know who's who.
And it seems to me that that question was at one time on the census.
It was.
And
it was.
I've been told, I think, that Obama had it taken off, but
yeah, I've heard that.
I'd have to verify that, but that's my understanding. Yeah, it's a basic question, and
well, I've got an example pulled up here that we can pull up on the screen. So I was going through Facebook, and there's this thing with Elizabeth Warren, presidential candidate on the Democratic Party. I thought, okay, I'm going to answer her questions. I feel ornery enough to do this, so I logged in and got on there, and it says, what is most important to you? So I checked off the two boxes. Immigration was one, and I forget what the other was. And then in the little box, tell us what's important. So I type, build a wall, stop abortion, all this stuff, and I hit submit. And contribution time. They can't read it till you give her money. Ha ha ha. So I put in .01 and I log in, and here's the screen that pops up, literally. And let's throw this up on the screen.
Let me get over to it here. There you go.
Rules for contributions. Number 1, I am a U.S. citizen or lawfully admitted permanent resident, i.e. green card holder. Yeah. And you can see down here, donations to Warren for president, and you can see this is nothing that I wouldn't even know how to change this if I had to. And this is donation Warren, blah, 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 act blue, blah, 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 all this stuff, all your cell phone number. And it just gives you the rules. Number 1 rule is you have to be a U.S. citizen or lawfully admitted permanent resident, i.e. green card holder. So now, you've got a presidential candidate that wants to allow illegals here to vote, but yet in her own contribution online setup, it says you have to be. I mean, is this the pot calling the kettle black?
Oh, the immigration system is totally out of whack. And here's one thing I'd like to make clear, though. I do not blame the people coming here.
No.
I do not blame them at all, because if I were in their shoes, I might do the same thing.
Yeah.
And especially if I knew I could get by with it.
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies the key. They know they can get by with it. Obviously, it seems that the Democrat Party assumes that these people will eventually vote Democrat, and they very well could be correct. That seems to be the main basis for it. Otherwise, there's no reason why we don't have immigration reform.
Mm-hmm.
This system is, but the system, blame lies on both parties.
It does.
Because I've experienced it prior to moving to Mountain Home, I was in southwest Arkansas, where we had a large Spanish population. Our school superintendent some 20 years ago said that 80% of kindergarten was Hispanic. So it's a large community, and most of them are good people, hard workers, and many of them are illegal. But and I asked the head of the Border Patrol at that time for that whole area, what would he do if I showed him positive proof that Mr. Hernandez down here is illegal? He doesn't cause any problem. He pays taxes. He works, everything. And I've got proof that he's illegal. What are you going to do about him? He said, absolutely nothing. Not unless they violated certain criminal acts would the Border Patrol even be interested in them. So that was under Republican as well as Democratic administration. So
it's been an issue for many years.
Yes.
You know, it's not just hit the surface since Trump became president.
No.
I mean, you can go back to State of the Union addresses probably as far back as Jimmy Carter.
Yes. You can go back and find people such as Obama giving lip service to the fact that we need immigration control.
Yeah. It's not that the people are not welcome. It's just the massive amounts of people have to be filtered, because you don't know if you got the old, what we used to call the guerrillas from the South American part, or if you got terrorists coming in, infiltrating from your Middle Eastern countries. You know, you have to protect your borders.
Well, if we're going to open the borders on the south, why not open them everywhere else?
Yeah.
If we're not going to have a country, well, then open it up. It's just, I cannot logically tell you why we should continue having the situation on the southern border as it is. It just doesn't make sense. I cannot explain it.
They're coming in out of Central America somehow. Where they're coming in, what, Honduras or Chile or whatever? I don't know. But, you know, and a lot of them say, well, how can you walk? You know, the joke is, how can you walk 2,500 miles carrying a bottle of water and a cell phone? You know, somebody's funding them
yes,
somehow.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't do it free of charge.
This is not a spontaneous thing on their part. No, they're being shepherded to the southern border, and they're being educated on our immigration system down there on how to play it. And they're doing it quite well.
And I'll have to admit, they probably know more about it than I do. Because we haven't studied this in civics class, and that was 1972.
Well, and I fear that probably there's less in civics class now than then. So we go back to the problem of, do people understand socialism?
So how can we fix? I mean, it's not going to be. It's not like if you had a flat tire, you put the spare on, go down to the tire shop and fix the tire. It's going to be more in depth than that. But it seems like that folks that want to be a citizen, there's so much red tape.
That's true.
There's a lot of red tape.
I think that could be worked upon and shortened somewhat too. But I don't think that still would not address our basic problem on that border.
Right.
And I don't see the solution to it unless the Democrats' leadership comes around, and I don't see that happening. Then the only other way is simply to have a majority Republicans who are willing to do something about it.
Well, let's talk about that. The difference between the Republican Party now as compared to, say, 1964, the Barry Goldwater era, the Democratic Party, Lyndon Johnson, the JFK era. We lost our president in '63, and then Lyndon Johnson became president and reelected in '64. But then he bowed out of the '68. That basically opened the door for Bobby Kennedy. And of course, he was assassinated. And I think that put Hubert Humphrey ran against Nixon in '68, and when Nixon won,
I believe that's right.
With Hubert Humphrey. How has the two parties changed in the last 50 years?
Much more polarized. I can recall at a time when I personally thought, I have trouble differentiating between Republicans and Democrats sometimes, because Democrats would vote for Republican issues, and Republicans would vote for some Democratic issues, and so it was some. But now it is, yes, they're working together, and that's the sad part. At least I think in Arkansas we can still look upon the Democrats in our state as friends and not enemies. On the national level, I fear that we're at where it is at an enemy status as opposed to let's work together. And that is of great concern.
You know, I'm thinking of things like you've got Chuck Schumer on one end, you've got Tom Cotton on one end, then you look at people like Nancy Pelosi and AOC in New York, and just some of the most ridiculous statements coming from, and I can see, how divisive the aisle is left to right.
It is divisive, and the thing that concerns me as I look at it is, okay, these people, they show what they are, but they got elected. A majority of people in their district or
and
state.
How do you elect a Democrat Muslim? Was it Michigan or Minnesota, I think?
Well, I think Minnesota is pretty well known for having admitted and welcomed the Muslim community. And I have been told that that is a concentrated area in that congressional district that is heavily Muslim.
And they're welcome here as long as they mind the rules. I mean, if they're coming in to change this country, we need to put a stop to it. But if they're coming here to be free and to do what they want to do in their community.
Well, look at the representatives that have been elected. Do you think they want to be assimilated into this country, or do you think they want to change this country to more match theirs?
I think they want to change this country.
Yes,
that's what
absolutely,
I'm
and so do the whole Democratic Party on a national level. Mm-hmm. They do not like this country as it is. As Mr. Obama's preacher once famously said, Lord, curse America. He didn't put it that way. He was much more explicit about it. But what he's talking about is that they don't like this country the way it is, and they want to reorganize it to suit them.
We were doing good until all this hit the fan, And you go back to like the Ferguson, Missouri, how, Obama got involved with that with, who's the African American can't think of his name. Came in. He's the tax evader, preacher. What? I wanted to say Franken. Is it Franken? His last name?
Oh yeah, the one from Minnesota, the senator.
Yeah, must have been
Al Franken.
And who's the other guy? I can't think. Dadgummit. Wouldn't you know? But it just seemed, after the Ferguson, Missouri riots. Mm-hmm. It just seemed like it was monkey see, monkey do. Okay, they got away with it. We can get away with it. And, you've had a lot of violence. And
they shut down anybody who's opposed to them. Mm-hmm. I go back to Saul Alinsky. Familiar with Saul Alinsky? Yep. Okay, he was the guru of the community organizers. Hillary is supposed to have written a paper on Saul Alinsky, and she had met him personally, I think. And Obama certainly would have been exposed to those precepts. And his thing was to give you the flavor of the people that are not aware of him. He dedicated his book "Rules for Radicals," which was for community organizers. He dedicated part of it to Lucifer, the most successful community organizer. So that gives you the flavor of what you can expect from him and his ilk and his teachings.
Richard Castro and I need to sit down with you and tell us our experience in Washington, D.C. after going through an Occupy Wall Street protest one night.
Let's do that sometime. All right.
My goodness, what a night that was. I'm sure Richard's watching this morning, but oh my goodness. I tell you what, it was, what a night in Washington that was. But anyway, it's 7:48. Need to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All mowers cut grass, but only a Ferris mower with suspension technology can provide you with increased productivity, quality of cut, durability, and comfort. The caster wheels and cutting deck are connected to the frame beneath the suspension. This lets the deck follow the wheels as they move up and down in relation to the ground contours. Maintaining the distance between the deck and the ground results in a beautiful, consistent cut. Visit your local Ferris dealer to experience the difference suspension makes.
Hi, we're Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team at Century 21 Lemac Realty, and we'd like you to meet the rest of our team.
When you are working with the Z Team, you will find that not only are they down-to-earth people, but they are trained professionals who work with downsizers, first-time homebuyers, and clients who may want to relocate to our beautiful Ozarks. Our team has agents who specialize in lake and river properties, listing and selling raw land, acreage, and all residential homes. Listing your property with the Z Team will help get it sold with unmatched Century 21 global marketing. You can find out more at retiretoarkansas.net.
It takes the right gear to survive out here. Oh, there she is. Ferris. It's the best gear around. Strong as an ox, safe as houses. Out back, there's one powerful beast. Awesome. Four-wheel suspension, handles whatever Mother Nature throws at you. Designed to take the hard out of hard work and deliver all the power you could need. So if you want to tackle the great outdoors, get yourself a Ferris.
So there I was, naked as a jaybird in the shower with soap in my hair and eyes when I lost water pressure down to a dribble. I immediately grabbed my towel and dialed up Jake at JM Sales and Pump Service. Jake came right over and fixed my water pressure. Now I can take my showers with confidence. Just call Jake.
For all your sales and pump needs, just call Jake at JM Sales and Pump Service, 870-431-5445. He offers high-quality stay-right product.
For years I've lifted weights, probably 30 years. The last 2.5, 3 years I'd have pain in my back of my deltoid at the joint. And it was extremely painful, and it didn't matter if I lifted weights or what I did. Whenever I pushed on anything, it hurt. Dr. Osgood had told me about this laser therapy, and so I tried it. 4 sessions later, 0 pain. And now I'm lifting weights again with no pain.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
Aerobic.
$7:52, ending out the program. Vision Bob Lowery here, Baxter County Republican Committee. My main concern right now is reaching out to young people, 14, 15 years old, before they register to vote, to not to capture them into being a Republican, but to educate them on how to make the right decision on who to vote for. You know, I don't think that a political party should say you have to be Republican or you have to be Democrat. Let the kids make their choice, but we need to educate them. When you've got Bernie Sanders out there saying, if I'm elected president, I want to forgive all debt for college students. That's fine. But what about homeowners here that have a $300,000 mortgage? Why don't you forgive that too? If you're going to forgive the college loan debt because these people need to get out and get a job and they need to buy a house, well, you're going to put them back in debt. So why not the homeowner? Why not the car owner? You know, why don't you forgive all debt? See, they're not thinking this through, but yet you've got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, oh, it's going to be free. If we have free health care and free college, are the professors and doctors going to work for free? Somebody's got to pay for it.
That's true. And under the socialist system, they will be paid, but not very much. Because the government will determine what their salary is, and they'll determine where they live, and then how much of an apartment they can have, because they'll have, eventually private property would go by the wayside.
Right.
That's one of their key tenets, is to do away with private property. So education indeed is the key, and I think a key part of that is history. And history is being taught, and part of the problem with it is that it's what you don't tell them as well as what you do. And that seems to be today working in the, if you will, the Democrats' favor. They seem to have taken over the educational supremacy as far as teaching goes. And that's the key. I think back to what you mentioned earlier, civics, teaching the basics of how this country came to be and what it stands for.
And there again, we're not a perfect people. So
No.
I think the mistakes we made should be taught as much as our victories.
Sure, and the word game is very important. The word democracy. Mm-hmm. You hear politicians say, we've got to protect our democracy. Well, we're not a democracy. We have never been a democracy. The founding fathers absolutely feared a democracy. They wanted a Republican, in the political sense, not the party sense, a government of representatives form of government. Mm-hmm. And that's what they set up. They did not want a democracy. They did not rule.
Well, and you hit on a key word here, representatives. And we don't understand, we can, let's say that Rick Crawford from 1st Congressional District comes in, and I say, Rick, this is what we need here. If the majority of people say this is what we need, then it's Rick's job to take it back to Washington. My people say this from this area of Arkansas. And it may be different in Illinois or Missouri or Kentucky or Tennessee. Right. But that's what the representative does. So my people are telling me this.
Yes.
But yet, I was sitting behind Congressman Womack one night at a banquet, and he was holding his phone in such a manner that I could see some of the wording. Are you kidding me? Can't you talk to a politician politely without the F-bomb in there 14 times? It was F this, F that, F, talk to your politician like you would anybody else on the street. But the profanity, and to me, that's a turnoff.
It is, and it's the scary part is that it's so accepted.
Oh, yeah.
This
is a congressman of the United States House of Representatives, and you're using language like that. Just talk to him in a reasonable fashion. I would think, Republican or Democrat, if I wanted to go, if I had an appointment with somebody, if I was respectable to that person, they would listen to me.
Yes. And I think part of the problem is we need to, as soon as that word is uttered, you should just say, you're out of here. Mm-hmm. You're off. If I should say something like that today, you ought to just turn me off the air and talk about something else. But it is becoming accepted.
Yeah.
Not liked, but accepted.
But do we understand what the senators and representatives are for? I mean, they're here, no. They're representing us, and whether it's the U.S. Senate or the state Senate. Senator Flippo was here yesterday, Nelda Speaks has been here, Jack Fortner's been here, and we can sit and talk. I teased Scott Flippo. I had a speed limit 55 sign with a black stripe across, like I can't drive 50. He says, well, next time have Sammy Hagar here, just having fun.
Yeah.
But you can talk to these people, and
sure.
They will listen.
Sure.
But we're cordial.
Yes. But now, especially at the national level, I think in Arkansas we're still basically pretty civil about matters.
Well, Jared Henderson was here. He ran for governor on the Democratic ticket. He sat in a very chair.
Yeah.
Then we went out to breakfast.
Sure.
Over to Scooter's Restaurant, over at Old Time. We're two opposing views, but we welcomed him.
Yes. Yes, and we still in Arkansas. I think we can still try. So I say, when we say our Democratic friends, it's not just a catchphrase that's tossed around, because I think our Democrats are still our friends. Mm-hmm. We differ on some views, and I think many of them, when it gets into the election booth, with the voting booth, they're going to vote.
Once that curtain's pulled, we
yes,
don't know. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And
there's a lot of Democrats that are closet Republicans.
Right. And many of them just simply, and there are many independents. Many people in our state do not want to be classified by party. That's just their right and their nature. They just don't want that association with either party, and they want to vote, or some say vote for the person and not the party, But I think we're finding that the person happens to be a Republican that they want to vote for.
Real quick, we got to end the show here. What, we got a minute and a half? About a minute and a half. The abortion issue, especially in New York and Illinois, up to point of birth, they call it women's health. I say let's change that to man's responsibility. They talk about women's health, but let's say man's responsibility. To be able to take a child at point of birth and destroy that child. How do they sleep at night?
Well, frankly,
and I'm sorry to say we got less than a minute, or right at a minute.
Well, to me, it's incomprehensible that we reached the stage where we would be talking about such a subject. But who thought we'd ever conceivably say that you would have that personally the same-sex marriage?
Yeah.
and I know I probably have offended a number of people by saying that, but the point is, things that we considered untouchable are now just matter of fact.
Yeah.
And how they can possibly, your question, don't ask me to explain that. I simply cannot. I cannot possibly put myself in those shoes.
Welcome to the Woodstock generation.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome to the Woodstock generation. Good, Lance, we're out of time. Did it go by that fast?
Yep.
I got to say, hey, thanks for being here.
Oh.
We got to run. See you on Monday.